bruh, you get me? I should actually moisturize my hair, like, duh! Yeah, protective styling might not be protecting. It might just be destroying. It might be searching for your edges and destroying. Search and destroy mission. Hello everybody, welcome back to our channel, JC from Just Lost JC Hit, oh whatever. So as you can see by the title of this video, I'm going to be talking about protective styles as I put in a protective style. I decided to go for a 90s kind of vibe, so I was luckily contacted by a company named Dolago. Keep that there so y'all can see that. So what comes with it is a wig cap, or two wig caps rather, elastic band, and of course the wig here. So let me take that out. Ooh, okay, it's already feeling soft. It does have a bit of a smell, and I think the reason is because I went for an Afro kinky texture, which definitely feels like how my hair would feel if it was straightened. I am into this, so the processing they do for that I think gives it that kind of weird smell. And this is how the inside looks, so it is a kind of brown lace, which I think is great. But anyway, so I'm going to install this, and I'm going to be talking to you guys about the downsides of protective styling, because there are some. They're there, and they're present. I was like, let me transform into a new human being and show you. Okay, so this is it on, and y'all, I love it. Don't mind the edges. Again, I attempted it. But the thing is, my forehead is so close down. I have a lot of baby hair. Not a lot of them, but the baby hairs go really low on my forehead. So, you know, when I do lay edges, it ends up being on my forehead. But I love it. There's something about short hair. So the first truth about protective styling that I've noticed is that it is easier to forget about your hair. Let me tell you. Remember when I said my hair broke off? It did break off because I was wearing it out. But also, when I was doing protective styles, I was just not taking care of it. So I'm going to talk about the protective style that you guys know that I wear a lot. I think I'm going to go with the middle part, just because I am into the middle part look. This is how it looks with the middle part. Yeah, I'm going for a kind of 90s thing, so I think I'm going to straighten it, give it a slight bump. You can also do a kind of side part, pattern, which is cute too, but I wear my hair in side parts a lot. I'm gonna go with the middle. But yeah, so it is this hair is so soft. Oh my goodness, and I love it. Okay, so for what I noticed for me with twists is that it would get dry. My hair would be dry and I wouldn't even notice. Now, because you guys know I wear 2-strand twists, I have them back, I have them in a bun, I have them tied down. It's very easy for me to wear the 2-strand twists and not even to realize that my hair is dry because I barely touch it. You know what I'm saying? Like when your hair is in twists and you're wearing the bun, you don't touch it. When your hair is in braids, if you guys have cornrows, if you do those styles, if you have regular braids, like single braids, especially if there's attachment inside or extensions, you don't even notice. You know what I'm saying? That it's dry because you're barely touching it. Especially if there's like extra hair inside or added onto the style. Please, when I used to do my Zoe Kravitz braids by myself, girl, I would not notice at all how my hair felt because there was so much extension. I couldn't tell if it was the Marley hair that was dry. I couldn't tell, like, do I have to do something about my hair? Like, what is going on? It was hard to tell. I'm gonna bring this heat down a bit because it's hot and I'm like, girl. Another thing that I would do, and please don't be a dirty liar and make it seem like it's just me.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now.
I used to sleep in my buns, which I don't think is anything wrong with that. Like if I had a bun, I would sleep in it. But the thing is, I wouldn't take it out. So it would be that same bun that I had all day. And just because of pure tiredness, I'm pure laziness, please. I would then just slap my dirty headscarf on top of that hair, not even having checked the status, what's the status, not even knowing what the status was of my hair, because it didn't really matter. I'm not trying to get it like really straight, just by the way, I just really want to bump the ends. That's what I'm trying to do here, so I get that 90s feel. Yeah, I watched Love Jones and I was like, Nia Long is lit, so what? Fight me on that, you feel me? So yeah, I would take that ragadi bun and just go bam straight to sleep. So not once did I even and then sometimes,
Father,
I don't think there's anything wrong with this. I think it's when you're lazy and not actually listening to your hair, then there's a problem. But now, even to this day, if I have a bun in my hair and I sleep with that bun and I'm running late the next day, yeah, I'll take my headscarf off and just run out the house like it's already in the style. But the difference now is that I still check in with my hair every three days to be like, okay, do I need to have some moisture in there? Does it need some moisture? Is it fine? Just to make sure. But before, my dear, that bun can stay in there for the week. That bun could even stay in there for the whole 1-2 weeks before I'm like, raw, you get me? I should actually moisturize my hair. Like, duh, are you taking the piss? Are you taking the piss? Protective styling, man, like it is great for hair retention in terms of retaining length because you're not touching your hair a lot. But you really got to stay on top of it, baby girl, because if not, you'll just have your hair dry and you won't even know it's dry because you're too busy like, oh, it's in a protective style, it's fine, it's protected. You gotta still be on top of it, and that was an issue for me. The same with protective styling is if it's too tight. Now, I know I do my 2-strand twists by myself, so they're not too tight, but there are people out here that are going to African hair braiding salons, and one auntie is just ruining your destiny. She's just ruining your future. But we don't even know because we're too busy like, oh, it's a protective style. It's not protecting if it's too tight. You don't want to get traction, alopecia. You don't want to lose your edges because this is what people don't talk about. When you see them talking about lost my edges and you're just like, how? Wait, what? Yeah, protective styling might not be protecting. It might just be destroying. It might be searching for your edges and destroying. Search and destroy mission. So yeah, similarly with wigs, this wig that I'm putting in, yes, it's a protective style, but again, some people do sleep in their wigs, or some people don't sleep in their wigs. Some people whip off their wigs when they're tired at night, put on a head tie, as my mom will call it, and hit the hay. And the next morning, who cares how their hair feels or looks because they're putting a wig on top of it. So, you know, it gets to, at least with twists and stuff like that, it gets to a certain point where it starts to look dry and it's like, okay, I know I was about to step out my house, but I don't want to step out my house looking crazy. So I used to put in some moisture just because of the way it looked, physical appearance. But just imagine if I was wearing wigs at the time, who cares how my hair looks? It doesn't matter if it looks dry, it doesn't matter if it has dandruff, it doesn't matter if it's matted, no one can see it. So I would stretch, please, if I wore wigs, I would be stretching some of my hairstyles. I would have been anyway, back when I was just doing higi haga and moving, rohi, twisting and turning. I would have kept my hair months because who cares? The only thing that would get me to wash it back then when I was trying to cut the corners, and my mom says there's no such thing as a free lunch, and she was right because mama's always right. The only reason that I would end up doing or something to my hair was because of the way it looked and because I wasn't covering it up with a wig. People are gonna see, sis, you got dandruff, you should wash your hair. You know what I'm saying? So just embarrassment and shame and having one iota and ounce of some kind of human being in me made me do these things. So with wigs and weaves, that's one of the traps, is like just forgetting how your hair looks underneath because who cares? So one of the styles that I'm careful of with protective styling is whenever I use a synthetic hair. So if I have synthetic hair involved in my twists, like I do Marley twists, like you guys saw, or if I do, like I mentioned, Zoe Kravitz braids. Whenever I have synthetic hair, I cannot keep it longer than a month or even 3 weeks because before, I would notice that I would just lose track of time because there's so much Marley hair and Marley hair has its own texture and roughness. I would just be like, oh, it's not my hair that's dry, it's the Marley. Like and this has been an ongoing problem with me. Even the last time I had Marley, like I knew I had to take it out after 3 weeks because it's hard for me to moisturize my hair when it's in a synthetic kind of blended in with synthetic hair because one, my hair does shrink up, and when it does shrink up, when I put the water in it, it kind of starts knotting together with the synthetic hair and makes it harder for me to take the style out. And I know that. And also it makes the style look more frizzy sooner. So I'm trying to make that style last. And so before I would like do that at the expense of my hair. By the time I took that style out a month or a month and a half later, not having moisturized my hair once during that time to preserve the style as long as possible because it took so long for me to do. I do them myself, which is something I should point out. Because I do them myself, I know it took me like 2-3 days or a weekend to get that style the way it is. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna make this last. And then because I want it to last, I don't moisturize. And so by the time that hair comes out, my own hair that has been rubbing against this rough Marley hair is just scattered in the wind, literally in the wind. Listen, Dolago, they do an excellent job with kinky textured hair. Another trick with protective styling is that you become dependent on that hair. Let's talk about it. Let's just be open and honest. I think this is the last point I'm gonna make because the video might get a bit long, but we become dependent on the way that hair looks. Now, I used clip-ins for a while and I love clip-ins, I still do. But I have to make sure that I tell myself, listen, the clip-in is for this one day. We're not for first day hair to make it a bit fuller if I'm into it, right? These days I haven't been using the clip-ins to make it fuller on first day hair because I'm like, F it, it's fine. But before I used to use them for first day hair to make it look fuller, and it's excellent for that. But I don't want to become dependent on it because, and I wouldn't say clip-ins necessarily are a protective style per se, but if you do it twist out, it's kind of a version of a protective style. But yeah, some protective styles like clip-ins, extensions, weaves, we become dependent on the fullness of that hair. I loved the fullness when I had clip-ins, so much to a point that I was like, I don't want to start disliking how my hair looks without it, or feeling that my hair is inadequate because I'm so used to the way this looks. The same with like when I do my Marley twist. Like I love the length of it and you know how thick everything looks, and you know I'd like to treat myself to doing one of those styles like once or twice a year, but I don't want to become dependent on that look, you know, because I want to still love my hair. There's nothing wrong with having and experimenting with other styles and being like, yeah, this style fits me. But the style that I want to be like, yes, this is my look, I want that to be my own hair, or the way my hair looks when it's most natural or it's done by me. And I know a lot of people that, you know, they would have a wig like this and be like, nah, I think I just found my style. Like, this is it. This is my look. I don't ever want to say this is my look to something that is very hard for me to achieve, which this would be very hard for me to achieve on my natural hair. I want to say, yes, this is my look, and feel the most comfortable in something. This is just a personal preference, in something that is easy for me to achieve and how my hair naturally looks. So that is important to me. Another thing about protective styling is you prefer, like I'm saying, you start to prefer that wig, you start to prefer that texture, you start to prefer that hair length, whatever the case may be. And it's like, it's true. It is true. I started to prefer buns, and buns are great, but if you do them too tight, they can cause some kind of traction alopecia. Sometimes having a ponytail holder on your hair all the time can cause breakage, and I really did start to prefer the bun look. And I was like, okay, listen, sis, like, you have hair, you need to, it's there, so you need to love it too. You gotta wear it out. Not every day lazy. Some days, you know, have a bit of fun, you get me? And so I started doing that, and I gotta say, I appreciated it. This is cute. I'm sorry, this is cute. Man's got the look completed. No, you don't rate it. Are you taking the piss? This is cute. All right, also one last quick thing that I'm gonna add, and I believe that some protective styles are just detrimental to the hair. As quiet as it's kept, let's spill that tea, honey. Let's spill the tea, okay? Because Dolago gave me this wig today so I can spill the tea. Great. Cool. Let's talk about braids, please. Don't go to my people, my dear. I'm joking. Do go to Africans, but go to the ones that are a bit more reformed. Go to the ones that understand the edges are important for just overall mental health. Go to the ones that understand that you need your edges, because I really did know growing up when my mom used to take me to some African braiding, the mentality is just like, you don't actually need your hair. All you need is enough to attach braids onto. That's all you need. These people, oh my goodness, they would braid my hair, right? Then they would burn the length of the braid, any hair sticking out. I said, excuse me, mom. Oh, no, no, no. Mom, are you, is everything, it be like say you don't dey mad. It be like say your elevator does not reach the top. Excuse me, you could be burning my hair. My dear, are you, the baza, I go baza your head, eh? Obviously I didn't say that because they're older than me, but I used to be like, I didn't understand back then. I wasn't into the, but I was like, they're burning the length of the hair to get rid of, but what if some of that hair sticking out is my hair? Some braids are too heavy. Some braids are too doggone heavy. Again, I would see and sit in African braiding hair shops and see people with thinning hair, have sections that were like this small. I'm telling you, like this small. But the amount of hair that that woman would pack in that braid was like this big. I said, is a lie? Is a lie? And that's how I kind of lost my edges. Let's talk about it. All in all, I'm going to say, you guys know I love protective styling. I swear by protective styling. It's what I do 90% of the time and will continue to do. But let's just all exercise some bit of caution with them. Especially if you're doing the protective style to grow your hair. If you're just doing it because you're like, I like braids, I don't care what happens to my hair. If that's what you're on, then it's fine. Hopefully this video was informative, funny, all them things. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. Comment a cactus emoji on my latest picture if you do, so I know that you're here from there. There from here. Right. Right. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. The links to this wig, very affordable, will be in the down bar below. You guys see how I transformed it. Pretty lit. Love it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm going to see you in my next video. Mwah!